Indian External Affairs Minister has rattled China. S. Jaishankar's comments hailing Indian Army's rapid troop deployment in 2020 and the current situation on border patrolling rights and patrolling abilities seem to have triggered the power circles in Beijing. Global Times, which is a mouthpiece of Xi Jinping's Communist Party of China, has published this article in an attempt to counter the Indian leader, suggesting Jaishankar should not have touched on the border patrolling issue. Global Times says these claims aim to incorporate current disputed areas into Indian territory, thus violating China's sovereignty. Now, this is like pot calling the kettle black. The 2020 Galwan Valley clashes were caused because India finally decided to put an end to Chinese salami slicing tactics, just like the PLA is doing with all its neighbors, just as the Philippines, Japan, Vietnam or Malaysia or even Indonesia. Why is China's Global Times so worried about Indian Union Minister's statements? Is China afraid of the bold stand India has taken against PLA's salami slicing and whether other countries in Southeast Asia may follow India's example? But first, what did Dr. Jaishankar say that has rattled China? His comments come just days after the new Chinese ambassador arrived in India, which even Global Times claimed was in an anticipation to ease tensions with New Delhi. In an interview to news agency PTI, the Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar said, quote, "We would hope that there is a resolution of the remaining issues out there. These issues mainly pertain to patrolling rights and patrolling abilities there." He stressed that today India and China ties are not normal due to heightened tensions at the LAC, which cannot be delinked from bilateral relationship. Jaishankar reminded China, saying, quote, "The Prime Minister was expressing the hope that the Chinese side should realize that the present situation is not in its own interest." Jaishankar was following up on remarks made by India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi a month ago, in which he stressed the need to address the border issues between the two nuclear neighbors. Foreign media highlighted Modi's comments as an attempt to restore peace along the border. Prime Minister Modi had stated, quote, "It is my belief that we need to urgently address the prolonged situation on our borders so that the abnormality in our bilateral interactions can be put behind us." But Global Times does not see it that way. The same expert had been quoted in the CCP Mouthpiece saying that Prime Minister Modi's comments were aimed at wooing the swing voters for the sake of domestic elections. But here is the problem. China cannot see a peaceful solution to the conflict even if it is staring it in the face. On the other hand, it is hard for anyone in China to understand what an election is given Xi Jinping's lifelong rule. S. Jaishankar added, "I think the Prime Minister was giving a big picture viewpoint, and his big picture viewpoint was very reasonable viewpoint, which is, after all, as neighbors, every country wants good relations with its neighbors. India is on its way to become the third largest global economy within the next few years, and the last thing India wants is an armed conflict to slow its growth." However, Dr. Jaishankar reminded the nation that one cannot have normal relations if there is someone unfriendly knocking on your door. Indian Army and Chinese PLA have held at least 21 rounds of border talks, but a long-term solution has not been found. Meanwhile, China is boosting its infrastructure in Arc-Sichin with underground bunkers and command centers. Satellite images reveal China is also expanding its air bases and has stationed more military aircraft closer to India's border. In such a scenario, India cannot let down its guard. An end to Chinese salami slicing tactics need to be found once and for all. Yes, there is a challenge from China. They have violated agreements and have sent a large number of troops to the border. However, India should take pride in the fact that despite COVID, we counter-deployed and sent a record number of troops to the border, added Jaishankar. He also had a message to the opposition urging unity and backing of the military in the face of this Chinese threat. Have your say. Has India's firm response to salami slicing tactics rattled China? Was China expecting India to toe the line, just like other nations in Southeast Asia? Leave a comment and remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons.